Hello, I'm Marge Feuerstein, co-chairman of the Shandelee Music Festival. I'm here to greet you and thank you for joining us for our virtual concerts. We are so sorry that we cannot get together this year, but we are all dealing with this terrible pandemic, which is keeping us from the people and the things that we love. We hope that these virtual concerts will bring you joy and remind you of our commitment to bring wonderful classical music to our friends in Sullivan County. Please enjoy the music, and we hope sincerely that we all can get together in 2021 for concerts in person, period. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy the music. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lana Ivanov, and I'm the Artistic Director of the Shandelee Music Festival. We are so happy that you could join us for this new chapter of our virtual concert series presented by the Shandelee Music Festival. During these trying and unsettling times, we all need some beautiful food for our soul, something that connects all of us, which is music. This pandemic has changed our lives and lives of all performing musicians who are not able to go on stage and share their artistry with their audience. But luckily, through the magic of technology, we're able to create a virtual stage and present these concerts to you right in your own living room. All of us at Chandelier feel strongly that not only do we want to bring some beautiful music and joy to all of you, our faithful audience, but we also must support our fellow musicians during these times filled with anxiety and sadness. I hope that you will enjoy our 2020 series, and we are so looking forward to seeing all of you in person in 2021. Stay well, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Bernstein. I'm the Youth and Outreach Program Director for the Shandelee Music Festival, and I would personally like to welcome you to today's performance. I'm thrilled to let everyone know that our new virtual concerts are being made available to the music students of Sullivan County, as well as many other individuals who might not be able to experience the beautiful classical music of the Shandelee Music Festival this summer. Without any further ado, please help me in giving a warm welcome to an amazing artist, longtime supporter, and great friend of the Shandelee Music Festival, Sara Davis Buechner.
Good afternoon and welcome to the concert hall in my apartment in Center City, Philadelphia. Very, very nice to spend the afternoon with you, bringing you some of my favorite piano pieces in this rather unusual but intimate setting. And first of all, I want to give proper thanks to all of my dear Shandelee friends, to Dan Straub and Paul Hong and Lana Ivanov, who've done such a fantastic job arranging this for me. I also have to thank my dear spouse Kayoko, who has assisted behind the scenes, and also our videographer today, Hugh Sung, who I'm looking at, winking at, even as we speak, and he's of course not on camera. I am more than ever aware these days how much we all need music and what music can bring to us in terms of daily comfort and ease in coping with various difficulties of life. So I too, as well as you, find it such a solace to make the music here in my apartment. So it's very special to share it with you today. I'll start with one of the last sonatas of Franz Joseph Haydn. This was one of 3 sonatas he wrote right after one of the only trips he really made in his life to England. Towards the end of his years, he was in his 70s when he wrote this incredibly experimental sonata. And here's a composer who's really appropriate for our own time because he lived a lot of his life in relative seclusion at the court of Esterhazy, very far from Vienna. And he commented in his diaries often about his loneliness and his sense of isolation, but commented that, that circumstances forced him to be original. Ergo, I was. Kind of a nice way of putting it. So in this remarkable late sonata, we'll hear him traverse the high Cs, going from E flat, then boldly to E major in the second movement, and then again back to E flat major. So, Haydn's sonata in E flat major, Hoboken XVI 52. videographer is telling me that some people out there are clapping. I can hear them on Broad Street, even as we're joking about that. But of course, the unreality plus the reality of all this is, well, what can I say? It is the online thing. So, all getting used to new things right now. This is, in fact, the very first unedited live concert that I've ever played on video. So I'm feeling my oats, as it were. I think that we're all a little bit starved for travel, and I think that's why I thought about playing these works of Chopin, bookended by Chopin in Italy. You know, that sounds like a guidebook I'd be most interested to look at. Many people do not know that Chopin wrote a tarantella, Opus 46, and I've always loved this piece since my student days, and I decided to pick it up again for this occasion, bring something of zest to the afternoon. And then I thought, of course, to pair it with his very famous Barcarolle, Opus 60, which is a very lovely work, more of a metaphorical barcarolle, perhaps, than a real one. And then, since I was introducing you to something a little less known of Chopin, I thought I'd throw in one of my very favorite lesser-known works of Chopin, the Prelude in A-flat major, which is an opus posthumous work. It's not part of his 24 preludes. It was in the manuscript, was discovered after he died, but such a lovely little piece. So, 3 works of Frédéric Chopin, and so we'll just get into our gondolier's boat, and off we go. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of accoutrement advice here from Hugh. With it, it's I see. Okay, it's ever so more attractive there. Talking into my. Yes, is that all right? No. Sorry. Excuse me. Time out here. Intermission. You think it's a little bit? Let me. Oh, the problems of attire online. Okay, that's probably. Yeah, a little bit better. Okay, all right. All right, so we've had our little trip to Italy with Fred, tours with Fred. And now, lastly, I'd like to take you to a country that is very special in my own heart. I love very much the music and dance of Spain. And I was very fortunate some years ago. It was in 1995. I remember it quite vividly. I was actually on a tour. And I stopped in Madrid for some concerts, and I had the real honor, of an invitation to visit with the daughter of Joaquin Turina, the same name as his wife, Obdulia Turina. She had heard my CD of his piano music and liked it and sent me a very, very lovely note. And I visited them, and she still lived in the house her parents had bought, I don't know, in the 1930s or something like that. And she gave me this incredible personal tour that I'll never forget. On the second floor was his little upright piano where he had written the Sinfonia Sevillana and the Danzas Fantásticas and any number of other great Spanish masterworks. And she actually brought out old manuscripts that she had never heard and asked me if I could play them on his piano, which is very, very touching. And what I recall mostly, so vividly, was going up to the roof garden where there was a fabulous array of plants, and this was where the composer liked to enjoy his cigars and a glass of red wine and meditation time. And Obdulia told me that she had kept purposely all of the flowers, all of the remarkable colors were exactly the same as they had been when her father was alive. And I realized how crucial, how central to his music is the whole concept of color, along with, of course, Impressionist harmony and flamenco rhythms. It's quite the irresistible combination. For today's broadcast, I brought back a piece I haven't played in many, many years, so I'll share with you that I'm a little bit nervous about playing this, but I know that I'm in good company here. These are the three Mujeres Españolas, Opus 17, of Joaquin Turina. They have descriptive titles, and they're surely named for people he knew. The music is so irresistible, you really wish you knew those characters too as well. Enjoy.
distract you.
Always feel like adding an ole. Oh, I can hear it all the way out on Broad and Spruce even. That's
Perfect music for a stifling summer afternoon.
it is a little bit. Hugh mentions that it's a stifling afternoon. It's a little bit hot in here as well. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit of travel. I'm not sure any of us are going to be going on real travel anytime soon, but music, fortunately, seems to be able to take us anywhere, including right back home. Now, anticipating a thunderous ovation, because I'm so modest about my stage ability, I did prepare an encore, and it was meant as an encore, but I think Alana and Dan put it on the program anyway. That's okay. Mistakes will happen. But I was thinking, when I come home, what kind of music do I like to play in here? And I have to admit, I have sentimental favorites. So what I've put here is a little bit of Americana by a now somewhat forgotten popular composer of the 1920s named Ruby Bloom. He was a good friend of George Gershwin and was on Gershwin's radio show in the 1930s as well. And Ruby Bloom wrote in a lot of home piano pieces meant for average players, which were of the sort that one would call novelty or novelty rags or things like this. But in fact, this always has the feeling of home to me, some pieces like this. They're very much the kind of piano pieces my mother used to play when I was a toddler, and she would still practice a little bit in the evening. She'd play simple Chopin preludes and a couple of popular classical numbers, then some show tunes of Jerome Kern and Rodgers and Hammerstein, and occasionally a little piece like this. This one has the wonderful title of A Stately Mansion, and I love that. Of course, a stately mansion is our home. We all like to think of our home as a stately mansion. So may I invite you to enjoy wherever you're listening to me today, whether it's home or a handheld device or a pandemic bunker or wherever. But wherever you are, may it be a stately mansion. And I'll play you Ruby Bloom's version of the Stately Mansion right now. in my mind, I see an image of the setting sun on the Ponderosa or some ridiculous thing like that. But how appropriate. So I will sign off now, Sara Davis-Buechner, and for my wonderful assistants here, Kyogo Sagawa and Hugh Sung, without which, I would have to do a lot more than this and probably using a cell phone. Thank you all. Thank you, Dan and Paul and Lana and all the Shandelee family. Please have a look at their website and support this marvelous organization. And I bid you now adieu from my stately mansion in Philadelphia and hope to see you all again very, very soon. Thank you.